Hari Om. Do you know what is the best place to be in on a Sharad Purnima night? Terrace. Of course, terrace. But the best place to be is in Vrindavan. If you ever happen to be in India during this particular time frame and you get to be on a Sharad Purnima in India, please plan to be in Vrindavan. And the best street or the best temple to be in Vrindavan would be the Banke Bihari Lal's temple. And the festivity is amazing. The entire temple is about 3 times this size, this hall size, 3 or 4 times. Imagine every inch of the wall, roof, everything is covered with the most fragrant flowers. Did you know that the rose flower also has smell? I missed that in here. The flowers don't have any smell other than couple of them here and there. The wild lilies may have some smell, but beyond that, you miss it. There almost every flower has that unique fragrance. And imagine the entire roof, entire walls decorated with amazing floral decoration. And then there is this festivity that happens right in front of Banke Bihari, where there is dance, where there is music, where there is, I'm not talking about dol baje taro kind of cinematic music. I'm talking of the traditional music, and the festivity continues almost all night long. As you walk out, the streets are filled with the best of the food, freshly made. That is the place to be, to celebrate Sharad Purnima. If you ever get an opportunity, please don't miss that. We will get into Bhajagovindam. Between the 2 sessions, I keep getting confused where I stopped. So if you can remind me, did we start Bhajagovindam in this session? First shloka is done? Okay. Not done? First part is done. Okay. Please try repeat after me. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam. अब बच्चों से कह सकता हूँ कि जोर से बोलो, आप तो जोर से बोलो. भज गोविंदम, भज गोविंदम. गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते. संप्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले. नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रंकरणे. मूढ़जहि धनागम तृष्णाम्. मूढ़जहि धनागम तृष्णाम्. कुरु सद्बुद्धिं मनसि वितृष्णाम्. यल्लभसे निज कर्मोपात्तम्. वित्तं तेन विनोदय चित्तम्. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja. 3 meanings of Bhaja, 3 meanings of Govinda we saw last time. Govinda being the Ishta Devata of Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji. Govinda also, pun intended, that it is the name of his own Guru Maharaj, Govinda Bhagavad Padacharya ji. Govinda also means go, meaning in Sanskritam the root word go indicates the organs of perception and action, karmendriya and jnanendriya. Vinda, vindate, the one who controls it, the one because of whose presence the organs of perception and action function in their individual fields meticulously, is the spark of consciousness, that which enlivens us, that Chaitanya Swarupa, that conscious principle. So, Govinda is a salutation to the Supreme Self within. So, the external dedication is to that Govinda who is Bhagavan, Ishvara. The one who reveals that knowledge is Guru, Govinda. And the one who connects that external pointer as the internal core of our own being as the Supreme Self within. How do we connect? Bhaja. Bhaja, the first meaning is to worship. There is several methods: puja, japa, dhyana, manasika puja. There are several methods. Bhaja, to worship. I was just sharing with one of the parents just before starting that in every family, whether it is a weekday or a weekend, mornings are a chaos. Right? Everybody has their own schedule, everybody has their own breakfast pattern, everybody has their own rush. And you have to prepare the entire family, their breakfast, their lunches, and then pack up and leave and drop. Lot of chauffeur service. So it's busy, chaotic. There is one common family time is when we all come back home. Right? Everybody comes at a different time, but there is one common factor where there is a dinner time. Just before dinner, if we can make it as a family practice, that in the houses that we live, there should be a space for Bhagwan also, right? There should be an altar. I am sure every house has a space for altar. If not a separate room for Bhagwan, at least in the remote, unreachable corner of the closet, there will be one space. Kahin to hai Bhagwan. Does everybody's house have an altar? If not, please create one. Sit down in front of that altar, light a lamp, light agarbatti, offer a flower, chant Sakala Devata Aradhana. Chant all the stotras, like say for example the opening prayers that we do. Chant that. One common. Then sing a bhajan. Then do a arati. If you don't want to go to the elaborateness of the arati, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. If you have time, Jai Jagadisha Hare, the whole 9 yards. Sing. Sit down quietly for 2 to 3 minutes. With the detailed variety that is there in the family, meaning tailless variety. They will not sit quite more than that. They'll start shuffling here and there, doing something or the other. Before they get distracted, 2-3 minutes should be sufficient. Don't make it, stretch it as an elaborate thing that they will despise. Keep it short, keep it simple. But one common time where that worship is inculcated, that connection to that divine is inculcated. And when you yourself, after taking a bath, sit down and do it as a parent, how much ever they may fight with you, challenge you, question you, do they do that? Do your children always do that? That means they are normal kids. If they don't do it, then there is a question. If they do that, they are normal kids. How much ever they challenge you, at the end of the day, who do they look up to the most, consciously or subconsciously? It's the parents. And when they see that the parents value that time and they are taking that effort, and there's a consistent effort, rain or shine, there is a pattern, a groove that is created, and that groove is what keeps them connected for a very long time. Growing up without chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, there was no dinner for us. So me and my brother, we developed a technique wherein only God could understand what we were chanting. We would finish the entire chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama from Vishwam Vishnu to the last shloka in 7.5 minutes. What could we chant in that 7.5 minutes? Only God could understand. My mother would get really mad that we are not spending time in a proper way chanting. I mean, her way of doing it was, if I could put it as an example, Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Ting Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Ting. That is the pace with which she won't want it. We would have finished already like 10 shlokas by then. My dad had a different opinion. He said, at least there is a consistency that they are sitting and chanting, rambling that 7.5 minutes. Let it continue. So whatever they did, look where I landed. That connect has to be inculcated. Worship. Second meaning, bhaja means bhajana. Bhajana, to sing the glories of Bhagavan. Not that he is expecting us to glorify him. Thou shalt glorify me or else you shall not be blessed. No, he is not saying that. Then why sing those glories? We know, as we think, so we become. Isn't it? So think of that amazing Bhagavan Ishvara, who is Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi, Sarvagnya. The more our mind inculcates and thinks of, it's like rubbing a piece of iron filing on a magnet. When you rub it enough, what happens to the iron? It starts imbibing the magnetic qualities. You must have done that experiment, right? If not, do it's a very cool one. It turns into a magnet. Now, who doesn't want to be a magnetic personality? So you inculcate those lakshanas of that which you are invoking. Therefore, bhajana. Bhaja, bhajan. The third one, bhaja sevayam. Seva is performed not because somebody has not or have nots. I have, therefore I go serve. I search for those who are have nots and constantly go serve. It is my opportunity to serve that Bhagavan in that particular form. There is a story of Narsi Mehta. What is the famous bhajan that he used to sing? Vaishnava janato tere kahiye re. And Gandhiji picked it up from there. The actual bhajan was popularized or sung by Narsi Mehta. It is said that when he was young, he used to go to his guru, and he is proper Gurukula, where after the morning whatever chores have to be done, they had to go out for Bhikshatana. They had to go for begging alms for the entire Gurukula. All the Vidyarthi will go. So one day he was in that Bhiksha, and mostly they don't say, I have come here for begging. Even that is divinized. Most of the places it is Narayana Hari. You say Narayana Hari, it means that there is the brahmachari that has come for bhiksha. So he says it out loud, Narayana Hari, and the family comes and they say bhakri. The jawar bhakri is given, and the lady of the house says, stay, I'll get you butter. As he is packing it into his jhola, like tying it up, a stack of bhakri, as he is packing it up, when she brings, there is this hungry dog that jumped, picked up couple of bhakri and ran. And this lady of the house comes with butter, saying that this will taste good with the butter. So he takes that butter cup, snatches it from her and runs after that dog. Everybody looking at that is pagal hai, do hi to roti le gaya, chhod do usse. So he catches up to the dog, snatches that roti, applies butter and plugs it back in and says, ab kha. Why? This is when everybody was shocked that this is some kind of a abnormal pattern. They said, my guru said that in every Jiva Rashi there is Bhagwan. And if Bhagwan is in that particular dog, that Bhagwan in that particular form should get the best. And I was told that it tastes best only if there is butter in it. Bhaja Sevayam. It is not for the sake of the downtrodden that we do seva. It is our necessity to do that seva so that we uplift ourselves from our own pettiness, our own egocentric lifestyle. Bhaja Sevayam. And why is this inculcation necessary? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrang karane. Samprapte sannihite kale. When our time, we may sing, Kabhi alvida na kehna. सबको तो अलविदा कहना ही है, right? In proper Bombay language, सबका पत्ता कटने वाला ही है, isn't it? Everybody that is born has to leave this world. Isn't that a fact? He is not just talking about that fact. He is also stating one more thing in through that. He is saying, when that will happen, nobody has a clue. Do we? Just last week, one family that comes, they said, lost their father. He was 70. The week before, he was given a clean chit. He had that medical and all the kinds of doctors looked in and said, he has very good health for 70-year-old. Nothing abnormal. A week later, just after Navaratri, the Ekadashi after Navaratri, he wakes up in the morning, is going towards the bathroom, collapses with massive heart attack. So everybody is like, इतना healthy था, अब ऐसे कैसे मरा? Time आ गया तो जाना पड़ेगा. It's a naked fact of life. When it will happen, nobody knows. Samprapte sannihite kale. That sannihita kala, when is it? We do not know. Whenever it is, are we prepared? Are we ready to quit this world and say, I am quitting it and I have absolutely no hangovers or any kind of skeletons or a wish list or regrets, wish I had done something. Are we prepared? Are we ready? Because we are busy into trivialities, and those trivialities are that which at the end of the day it never matters. It doesn't really matter at that point as to what we have prioritized our entire life. Therefore, the address here is, though he is addressing that particular individual who is chanting the Panini Sutra, but through him he is like inspired to address everybody's mind. That samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrung karane. Later, last week I was thinking, du krung karane. Kru is the root word which means karane. Did Panini know English? Because kru karane is do, doing, and he includes it in that. It was like a revelation for me last week that he is speaking English also here. Do krung karane. What does kru karane mean? Is doing. We are engaged in so many activities prioritizing that we are running pillar to post, not having stability, not having peace of mind, not having joy, not sharing joy. Because we can share only that which we are effectively filled with. If we are filled with frustrations, what do we give to everybody else? Whatever we are filled with is what we give. Isn't that? Whatever is readily available is what we give. If it is filled with that which is of the highest priority, then I end up giving that stability, that peace, that joy to everybody around. Otherwise, I'm constantly in tension, providing free access to that tension to everybody that comes across in my life. It has that nasty, contagious effect. So the priority in life, if we can have a baseline for it, rather than wasting in the wrong priorities. Now, what are the wrong priorities in life? As I said earlier, that this Bhajagovindam is also called Moha Mudgara, a direct hammer on our own delusions. So, from the second shloka to the 30th shloka, all the delusions that which we are clinging on to. Have you seen Star Trek? Yes? No? There is a particular, not a tribe but a species called Klingons. Do you remember? Do you know who they are? It is us jivas. We keep clinging on to the wrong priorities. Klingons. So what does he take as the first and most often indulged in, and we get a wrong priority. So that he says in this second shloka, Moodha jahihi dhanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasivi trishnam. So before I take up this shloka, our Hindu scriptures are often wrongly quoted in saying that, oh, Hinduism says you should not be having wealth. Yes, if you are a sannyasi, that is the dictum for you. But for the rest of them, that is not the advice given. Am I getting across? Yes, it should not become a pressured environment that alone becomes a priority. So wealth, generation of wealth, sustenance of generated wealth consistently is promoted. But the craving for the wealth, through the wealth, certain amount of power. Okay, let me ask you. Why do we run after so much of wealth? Why does the human mind run after so much of wealth? Instead of me concluding it and then continuing the conversation, let me see. We associate happiness. Okay, we associate happiness with it. What else? Comfort. Hygiene. That's why I was like shaking my head that I cannot negate it, but yes. The highest and foremost are the power that it gives and the security that it generates. See, for example, all of us are Indians, Indian background, right? Definitely. What is one of the crucial things which we say it is the Desi mentality? Savings. Savings से मुझे कोई problem नहीं है. When we talk to our children, what do we want them to be? No, what do we want them to be? Successful. What do you mean successful? Say that again. Doctor, engineer, lawyer. Thank you for nailing it. There was somebody who was studying arts. Like, and I asked that kid, what are you graduating in? What is your undergrad major in? And he said, I'm graduating to be a loser. I said, what? It doesn't even make sense. What do you mean by it? My parents have decided that if you are not a doctor, not an engineer, not a lawyer, not a CPA, then you are definitely a loser. So my undergrad major is to be a loser. Okay, all these jokes apart. Why is there that insistence from the Indian parents that they have to be in certain professions only? Because you as a generation, you have seen the cusp of a generation ahead of you which had to really work, slog, sweat it out to make ends meet. Most of us. Isn't it? And you have seen yourself as to, you have come to this point of comfort, security, where you don't have to sweat it out that much as you have seen the earlier generation do. So out of all goodness, what is it that we want for our children? Right? We want them to be in the same position wherein it must at least match where I am, if not even better than this. Isn't it? This whole effort is security. Right? Supposing you have a daughter, she has to get married. Whether she chooses it or you choose. When people ask me, should it be a love marriage or arranged marriage? I don't care. I don't care personally, but even for you, I don't care if it is either one of them, it should be a successful marriage. Right? So your daughter has come to the age where she should get married. And the boy that you are searching, what is the kind of boy that you are searching for? What is one of the main criteria? Yes, values, achhe gun, acha family, theek hai. What is the main criteria that you are looking for? Perfection. Settled का मतलब क्या है? Financial security, isn't it? Security is one integral part of the finance. How does the Hindu scripture describe how much wealth is good enough for an individual or a family as a unit? See, whatever are your expenses, whatever are your kharcha pani on a yearly basis, write it down, X amount. Your 401k, Medicare, Medicaid, your insurance, your children's college funds, all that included, X amount. So it will give you a figure, right? X amount. How much should an individual earn? 5x. You can look at it two ways. Whatever you are earning, it divide into 5 parts, or whatever is your expenses times 5 is what you earn, so that you can take care of the 5 units of the income. However you want to look at it, your comfort. The first 1/5 goes in Rajya Bhara. That is what it describes. What does Rajya Bhara mean? 1/5 तक टैक्स देना उचित है. 1/5 of your earnings to support the state. Rajya Bhara. The next 1/5 is in, it should go in taking care of your elders, parents, in-laws, parents, siblings if they are still alive. The elders, to take care of them, because this family is responsible, is the social security for the earlier. It is not the state's responsibility to provide that, it is the children's job to take care of their own elders. The third 1/5 is for doing seva. The examples given there is, constructing roads, or dharma satra, or planting trees, digging wells, that which benefits the society on a long term. When you are planting a tree, obviously you are not going to benefit the fruits of it, maybe your children or grandchildren will benefit from it. Seva. 1/5 spent on that. मेरा number कब आएगा? आएगा. The fourth 1/5 goes in being a patron of that Gurukula that has given us Adhyatmika Vijnana. Spiritual knowledge that has been given, you need to support that Gurukula. Fifth 1/5 is what I spend on me and my family. That much is sufficient. If you are of the mindset, jitni chadar utni pair, however long is the bedsheet that I can stretch, I will put my legs at that and find comfort in it, then whatever you are earning, 5x, 5 parts of it, the 1/5 is what is for you. The rest of it is for the other components. Just because there are these kinds of things, the methods in which the funds are raised, the money is raised for my own maintenance, it cannot be the crooked methods. See, there has to be something which has to be firm about, and there has to be some things that we have to be flexible about. Right? Fair enough? But we always get confused, where is that firmness to be and where is that flexibility to be? Because we get the advice almost in the same breath about being both. What kind of I've heard all kinds of scoldings going across. You have to be firm in your life. And the same breath they will also say, you have to also be flexible. एक चीज बोलो, be firm or be flexible. Don't confuse me with both parameters and both contradicting parameters at the same time. Now, life has this contradiction, and that is how it gets guided. Do you use GPS? There were times where we had to sit with maps and map the entire journey. उसके बाद MapQuest आया. Do you remember MapQuest? So you sit down with the computer and write down or take printouts. Then came the clunky Garmin, where to say U-turn, you say take left and then take another left and take left again. Take a U-turn bolna hai yaar. Those were the initial inception days. And today this gadget has everything in it, and it updates the traffic, it guides you with newer routes, right? Very, very sophisticated, really smart. Now when you set your GPS, it suggests alternative routes. What exactly is it doing? It is firm about the destination. Am I getting across? It is firm about the destination. It is flexible about reaching in the fastest possible. In between, it might change couple of times. When I say change couple of times, the ends don't justify the means. Just because on the opposite side there is no traffic, I cannot jump onto the other side and start driving. Within the dharmic means the fastest way. That is what it means. You get the example in the picture? Now let's go back to the shloka. Mudha jahihi dhanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasivi trishnam. The unnecessary jumping around and craving for too much of money because of too much of insecurity is going to leave you constantly agitated, frustrated with yourself, thereby seeing every opportunity as a very depressing way to live. Is it? But earn. How should that earning be done? Yal labhase nija karmopatam. Nija karma upatam. Righteously, meritoriously, honestly, whatever is your profession that you are in, earn a livelihood in the most righteous manner. One time it was almost a joke when people would say, "Kitna kamata hai?" How much does, the son-in-law earn? So the counter question was, टेबल के ऊपर कि टेबल के नीचे? How much Rama, how much Krishna? You understand? There's a code language. Rama is the white, Krishna is the black. There should not be any disparity in our understanding that nija karma upatam. Yal labhase, whatever that you are earning through your righteous, honest method, without deviating from dharmic way of outlook. Vittam tena, with that money, vinodaya chittam. Fulfill those joys of life. There's nothing wrong in it. Gurudev says in this particular point that there is nothing wrong in enjoying the joys of life as long as we remember that nothing is permanent. The problem becomes nastier when we start expecting that which is temporary to be permanent. Knowing that it is impermanent and it is giving you a fleeting amount of joy, and you are aware that it is giving you a fleeting amount of joy, nothing wrong in enjoying it. Enjoy it. Bask it. How many of you have the habit of drinking coffee early in the morning, coffee or tea? Arre vah. How many of you sit down and have your cup of coffee? Those are the joys. Sit down, enjoy that moment, cherish that moment. Oh, pakda itna bada glass, and then, or the mug, and then rush to the, tell me what this mudra is. A poor fellow. Sit down, enjoy that moment, that freshness of that coffee bean, the freshness of that hot beverage going through, percolating your system. Enjoy that moment. Once it is done, next, run. Finished your responsibility. We are so busy in the end that we stopped cherishing these little moments. When every child once or twice a week a cup or a bowl or something slips, hota hai ki nahi? Right? When it is not you or yours involved and you see such event, what happens immediately up here? You see it as a moment of, right? You chuckle. But when it is your own child, where is the chuckling? Yes, silly things happen in life. Chuckle. Because there is also growing that is happening, which our frustration, we don't see it happening. We don't enjoy, cherish that growth. Whether it is with children, whether it is with spouse, whether it is with whatever circumstances, in our busy, in our constant foggy, because we want to reach somewhere else, this moment and what it is offering is not cherished. The greatest Vairagi, the greatest dispassionate one, Adi Shankaracharya ji, who talks about everything as Maya. What is his advice on finances, money, and the moments that come by in life? He said, cherish them, because that is what becomes your effective part of your memory, and how you string them is in your hands. Look back last week. How many moments do you remember? Top, what comes up? How many moments do you remember? 15, 20, 30 moments? Last month, the whole month, what is it that stands out? 5, 6 frustrations, 3, 4 joyous moments. Last year, this little, nobody remembers it. You yourself don't remember it. कि कब कितना frustrate हुआ था. At the effectiveness, what do you remember? Oh, we went there and that was so beautiful. Because you are available to cherish it at that moment. Therefore, it is etched. It is etched in your memory, and there is an experience. Lack of this, what do? We try to temporarily, artificially create these moments, and we say, vacation jana hai. We are burnt out. 3 days, 2 nights packages. Many parents were asking yesterday night till today, is there Balavihar class today? Why? It's a long weekend. It's an escape. I can run with. I have a package. The package is a better, sweeter deal if you can make every day a great moment to enjoy. Starting from your coffee cup to the time when you lay down on your comfortable bed, your head sinking into your soft pillow, and the warmth of your quilt. From then to then, there are so many moments to enjoy. But we are not available. कहाँ पे busy हैं? Wrong priorities में busy हैं. Am I getting across with the shloka? Vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Cherish those moments. Enjoy life. But know that it is ephemeral in nature. But what we do is we try to repeat, we try to hold on the consistency of this ephemeral to continue. Then we will have pain. Then we will have sorrow. We will be the cause for sorrow for plenty. Vittam tena vinodaya chittam. In fact, even the Upanishad says, Ishavasya Upanishad starts with the very second mantra. It says, Ma gradaha kasyasvit dhanam. That which is not rightfully yours, that which is not rightly earned by you, don't even think about having that money as yours, that wealth as yours, that resource as yours. And I had to learn that message, that with that I'll end, that what resources are not rightfully ours, how subtle we have to observe. I'll tell you one of my shameless experiences. I learnt, Gurudev was patient enough to teach that. So I was still in Yuva Kendra, And one of the jobs that were given is Gurudev used to write about 150, 200 letters every day. So one of us was given a job to fold the letter, put it in the envelope, and he would always pin his response along with the envelope so that it has a from address. So you write that from address, you write the address from where Gurudev is sending it, and put a stamp, stick it, and pile it up. So as Gurudev was writing, I had finished my stock of things. He was still writing. I found this envelope that he had received, which had a stamp on it. You know, the stamp has a stamp on it. This one did not have a stamp on it. I was busy. I was busy pulling it out. Gurudev noted that. Okay, he didn't say a word. I successfully pulled it out without tearing it anywhere. And to the next envelope, I was trying to stick it in. There he stopped me. He said, I didn't want to judge you. You might be taking that particular stamp for your collection. But if you are using it again, there I would have to stop you, because that stamp has served its purpose. You reusing it is violation of your own conscience. Think again, he said. Remember how subtle? We become, क्या हिंदी में शब्द है, जुगाड़ू, right? And miss the point that what is rightfully to be done in the most dharmic sense, we stray from it. So consciously observe that and let the mind not be fogged with the wrong priority. Know how much is that priority, where does it suit, where does it blend in, and how to cherish through it. Having again the priority of use, the fivefold of it mentioned. So this is the second shloka about the priority of wealth. Now moving to the next one, what is the another wrong priority that we get so fogged up with, so blinded with? We will see in the third shloka next week. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.